Hello everybody, this video is going to be on base multiplication. The two numbers are going to be above 100. It's based on this algebraic equation. If you multiply this side out and multiply this side out and combine like terms, you will get an equivalent expression. So let's do example 1. Now, I'm going to say 101 times 103. Now, my base is 100, represented by x. These numbers are really slightly above 100. My first surplus is 1. 101 is 1 more than 100. My second surplus is 3. 103 is 3 more than 100. I'm going to substitute in this expression now. So we have 100 and 100 instead of x, substituting for x. Plus, I have 1 and 3. Equals, what goes here, x, so I have 100, parentheses, 100, plus 1, plus 3, plus 1 times 3. Now, what is this? This is 101. This is 103. So I'm still multiplying by 101 by 103. And this side helps us get our answer really quickly. Let's think of it this way. I'm going to put 3 figures here. Okay? Now, 1 times 3 is just in the units column. So this is the units, tens, hundreds. So it has to go here, 3. And this right here is 104. 100 plus 1 plus 3 is 104. And it has to go right here because it has to be shifted 2 spaces to the left since it's multiplied by 100. And nothing goes here. We're just going to fill it in with a 0. So as you can see, I strategically use this and this to quickly get my answer. So we focus on 3 things really: the base, the surpluses, and the product of the surpluses. Okay, let's do example 2 now. What's 102 times 105? Okay, my base is 100. And this has a surplus of 2 from 100. This has a surplus of 5 from 100. And just like before, we have a first part of our answer and we have the second part. And there's 4 ways to get our first part. I just want to remind you. We can cross add this way. 102 plus 5 is 107. We can cross add this way. 105 plus 2 is 107. We can start at our base, 100, and add the surpluses, 2 plus 5. So get 107. And I can add the numbers and subtract my base. So 102 plus 105 minus 100. That's still 107. And the last part of my answer, I just want to multiply the surpluses. So I get 10. So here's how the modus operandi goes, the procedure. We're just going to get 107, first part of my answer, regardless of the 4 ways you use. Second part, I need 2 spaces because my base is 100 with 2 zeros. So what's 2 times 5? Multiply the surpluses, I get 10. So final answer, 10710. 10,710. Okay? Let's go ahead and move on. So example 3. Let's do 101 times 104. So base is still 100. This has a surplus of 1. This has a surplus of 4. I'm going to cross add this way. I get 105 as the first part of my answer. I'm going to put a slash. Remember, we need to have 2 spaces right here. What's 1 times 4? That's just 4 in the unit space. It goes right here. We fill in the blanks with a 0. So final answer, 10504, 10,504. Let's do example 4 now. What's 102 times 104? So base is 100. 2 zeros, really important to pay attention to that. Surplus of 2, surplus of 4. Let's cross add this way. 106, put a slash. 2 figures. 2 times 4 is 8. It has to go here. I fill in a 0 here. 10608. 10,608. Okay, let's do one with the carry now. Example 5. Let's do 108 times, it's not going to have a carry, I'm sorry, 109. So base is 100. This has a surplus of 8 from 100. This has a surplus of 9 from 100. Okay, Next step, I'm going to cross add this way, 109. Actually, I think it's easier to cross add this way. 108 plus 9 is 117, first part of my answer. I'm going to put a slash, 2 spaces, 8 times 9, 72. Okay, that's it. Let's do example 6 now. This one's going to have a carry. Let's do 111 times 111. So base is 100. This surplus of 11, this has a surplus of 11. We can cross add either way, but I want to remind you there's 4 ways to get the first part of my answer. I think this way is actually easier. 11 plus 11 is 22. I'm going to say 100 plus 22 is 122, so I like that way for this problem. I'm going to put 2 spaces here. What's 11 times 11? 121. Remember, I can only have 2 spaces. This needs to get carried over. 122 plus 1 is 123. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. 12,321. Really interesting number. It's a palindrome, okay? 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. If you multiply 11 lots of times, you'll see interesting patterns, okay? So I encourage you to do that. All right, let's go ahead and continue now. Example 7. So example 7. Let's do 198 times 102. Good example right here to understand the idea. What's the base? 100. This has a surplus of 98 from 100. This is a surplus of 2. You should definitely cross add this way. Or you can say 98 plus 2 is 100. 100 plus 100 is 200, first part of my answer. Second part, I can only have 2 spaces. What's 98 times 2? That's just 100 plus 100, then you have to subtract 4. So 196. So I have to write it like this. 196. This gets carried over. So 200 plus 1 is 201, and then I'm going to keep the 96. 20,196. Let's keep on going. Example 8. Let's do 103 times 190. So base is 100. Surplus of 3 from 100. Surplus of 90 from 100. I'm going to cross add this way. 190 plus 3 is 193. Put a slash, 2 spaces. Second part can only have 2 spaces. So 9 times 3 is 27. Add the 0, 270. So I have to write it like this. 270. Carry the 2 here. 193 plus 2 is 195. So 195. Then I'm going to write 70. 19,570. Let's do example 9 now. Let's do 104 times 126. So base is 100. Surplus of 4, surplus of 26. I'm going to cross add this way. 126 plus 4 is 130. Put a slash, 2 spaces, since our base is 100 with 2 zeros. What's the product of 26 times 4? There's many ways you can do this. You can just double it twice. 26 times 2 is 52, and then 52 times 2 is 104. So I'm going to say 104. Carry the 1. 131. 04. Okay? Let's do example 10 right here. Okay, let's do a good example right here. Let's say, let's do 190 times 140. So, base right here is 100. This is 90 more than 100, and this is 40 more than 100. So, I'm going to add the surplus this way. 190 plus 40 is just 200 plus 30, so that's 230. Put a slash, 2 spaces. What's 90 times 40? Think about that. What's 90 times 40? Well, 9 times 4 is 36. I have to put it here. But remember, that's why it's so important to understand that when you have 2 spaces, you have to do that. So this 36, all of this 36 gets carried. Not a big deal. Let's ignore the 2 right now. What's 30 plus 36? That's 66. So I get 266 and then double zero. Okay? 26,600. Okay, good job. Keep practicing. You really have to understand how many spaces goes to the right side if you want to be successful with this, okay? Good job.